So, welcome to the poetry reading with Fatal Blends. 1 minute earlier today, and yes, I hope you are all having a great day and you had a great week as well. Thanks for joining. Thank you, Emmanuel, joining us for the first time. Arvinda Kumar, and yes, in a while from now, I think we'll get started. I think we could just ask. Richard to go ahead with his poem and or otherwise he could share his anything about that. But 1 minute ahead of the time. Yes, Richard, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. It, as always, is an honor to be here as guest of my brother Kumar Prasanna. I have this poem to offer you all. It's a little tribute to science because so many, it seems, even living in a technological world, don't quite appreciate science. So this is called Science is Observation, Analysis, and continually revising theoretical explanation, testing each doubt arising where data collides with those so often in your well articulated expectation. A fresh sample data renews sweet revelation we reluctantly eschew. And through continual reevaluation of theory based on data, not revelation, while others would rush willy-nilly, they sometimes manage a sidelong glance at that last row of details arranged, rarely silly, assembled sometime later in the dance, and it will be rarely, if ever, forgiven half the chance. Data collection, the flexibility of mind to refresh and revise explanation of this ability, open-minded data collection denies fallacious certainty, or at the very least confounds the dizzying compounds of tendacious expectation. Examples there are, to be sure, of quite considerable reluctance in some quarters to accept fresh data knocking impertinently at the door, while ossified and arthritic closed minds, those who would sentry guard against the imposition of too fresh ideas. Daring to sneak across the borders would keep fresh data under orders, retrained under no uncomfortable order, under lock and key, washing up and waiting for the porters who would not let her be. Countless innovators pitted too often against the powers that be, but for progress to be refreshed, they must not block the newer, fresher key of mind. Eventually, the old guard falls out onto their ossified ideas, bouncing balls, leaving room for fresher takes and cleaner breaks and brand new vistas. We see human beings seeking breath, not death. Science is observation, well understood as thus in every nation. Science is observation. Thank you, my friends.
Exactly, exactly, Richard. You always talk about science and being a scientist yourself. Thank you for sharing your piece. If you have another short piece, you could go ahead, or otherwise you could move across to your point. You, you could go
You're
ahead
saying I
and
could read another one?
yes,
Sure.
yes, please.
Okay. In my country that used to be known for freedom of speech, there's suddenly been an outbreak of censorship. So I call this one Scrubbing the Media of Humor. We scrub the media of humor. You've heard it here. It's not a rumor. Every comedian must get a pass. I'll tell you now, don't waste your gas. You'll be a ventriloquist or anything else you're sure to miss. Nothing polity it goes without saying, insulting the king, well, you're in for a slaying. Sure, they had their jesters once upon a time, but in those days the reviews were brutal. There was no duck-gum fine. If the king was insulted, not in irons you were tossed, none of them highfalutin lawyers, no paying court costs, but sue for $1 billion to cover their assets. They'll fire today's jesters, toss them out, now they're cashless. A big-time media with a total global reach. Don't ask us to take a stand, though, on some damn free speech beach. Out Colbert, out Kimmel, out Prancer and Vixen. They mumble 12 kinds of madness on their foe before breakfast, insulting the liberals, castigating the Dems, with no more discomfort than coughing up phlegm. I offer you thus scrubbing the media of humor. Thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant, Richard. As always, please give a top for Richard. Please welcome Dr. Deena Padayachee.
Thank you so much. It's a great honor to be here. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate the poetry of the lovely people who are part of this gathering. Um, uh, what has happened to South Africa is that as the years pass, some of our greatest heroes are slowly being forgotten. Those who managed to get rid of apartheid. And in 1994, we were allowed to vote. But what happened was the education syllabus was changed such that the history suddenly didn't play much of a role in the education of our young people. So they grew up learning a lot about Europe and Britain and Africa, but unfortunately, very little about South African history, South African literature, and the South African heroes who did so much for our country, and many of them obviously lost their lives in the struggle for liberation. So I got to know one of these people, a man called Dennis Brutus, was shot by the apartheid police, spent 18 months in Robben Island, and then went into exile, which meant he was stateless, but he found refuge in America. And he taught at Pittsburgh University. He was a professor of English literature, but he appeared on television many, many times and radio and took part in many demonstrations against the apartheid regime. So that's the background to the man I'm going to speak about. He was a poet as well. So Dennis Brutus, the Mahatma of poetry, and it's subtitled Under the Skin. When we were helpless and abused, when your very name was illegal, when your thoughts were unutterable, when your writing was banned, when you were shot by the South African secret police, the apartheid police, when you were incarcerated on Robben Island with Mandela, when your bullet wound was kicked by the savage warder on Robben Island, when even news about you was illegal, your very survival still gave us hope in South Africa. Dear Dennis, your wife, your children, your career, your life were all in the clutches of a merciless, vile regime. Still, you did not falter. How could a sentient soul like you even exist, we asked, if there was no God, if we are not also God's creations, blessed with a great intelligence, incisive perception, incredible vision, goaded by the overwhelming injustice in our native land? You forsook yourself, your family, your life. You volunteered everything that you are for South Africa, for the service of humanity, for the world. Imperfect as we are, human as we are, unethical as we can be, false as we can be, dishonorable as we can be, you still believed in us. You risked your skin for us. You made yourself into a target for us. You loved us. When the powerful and the influential asserted that we are not worth loving or respecting, you believed in us, Dennis, when we were rejected everywhere, when we did not believe in ourselves, when everywhere in our native land we were treated like vermin by the oppressor and the oppressed. You helped us believe in South Africa, in South Africans, when all over our native land we were confronted by devilish vileness, unethical laws, so called laws, sophistry, unbelievable bad manners. At the zenith of the barbarism, fearlessly you held South Africa's head up high. The light of freedom grew, illuminating our claustrophobic, circumscribed existence. Your life, your skin, your courage, your example helped nurture our spark of humanity when so many of us were too scared to even think. You gave us hope when despair asphyxiated us like a shroud, stealing the very air from our lungs, the very blood from our hearts. Like a being sent by the Almighty, you helped us believe that somewhere in the distant future there might begin a glimmer of civilization. There might even be liberation, that my aged mother might one day also be allowed to walk freely anywhere in her native country, that we too might one day become an integral part of the human race, that we too might one day be invited to represent our native land, that we too might one day savor the Indian Ocean and the beaches of our native land. Like a mythical being, Brutus fought on the side of truth, on the side of the helpless, the legally handicapped, the poor, those who could give him no advantage. A heroic stance that would earn him no peace, only the brutality of the immoral, the whores, the omnipotent, like an indestructible truth shimmering through the shroud of lies and propaganda. Dennis Brutus shone through the darkness. We realize that not all beings blessed with intelligence, knowledge, and power are abusive. Like an avatar of old, like a Miguel Cervantes, he fought the awful terror. His only armor, his belief system, his value system, his sense of respect of what is right and what is wrong. And yet, despite the most horrendous, all powerful enemy, despite the backstabbers, the betrayers, the sellouts, the impi, the prostitutes, he triumphed, he survived. The Mahatma fights on peacefully. His only weapons, his divine mind, his immortal writing. Assailed from every quarter, his integrity could not be undermined. Monitored ceaselessly, he still manages to maintain a civilized equanimity. He believes in the most intellectually disadvantaged, the most unlettered, the most destitute among us. He believes in us, the Almighty's creations. Undeterred, he risks everything that he is. If unafraid, he voices his opinions. Even when he offends the mighty and the influential, he speaks for all of us, the intimidated, the weak, the terrified, the powerless. His entire life is devoted to lessening our pain, our suffering. He soldiers on in the service of our noble cause, asking for nothing, taking nothing, honored all over our battered world and even in South Africa. Sadly, he is still sometimes snubbed in his native land. Even now, with racism, savagery, and an absence of conscience dehumanizing our country, steadfast and resilient, he does not veer from the path of civilization. For Dennis Brutus, there is no quiet retirement, no happy solace among his great grandchildren. While you breathe, Dennis, you still feel, you still speak out, you still write, you still care for those who do not even know that you are blessing them with your ardor. Unbelievably humble, you demand nothing from us. You do not show regret or even anger at our ignorance, our inhumanity, our pathetic lack of morality, ethics, and integrity. You keep to the path of honor no matter what. Your life is dedicated to us. Your enemies are numberless. Every greedy tyrant, every autocratic dictator, every cruel savage, every primitive leech who fears the truth, who wallows in avarice, inhumanity, propaganda, and censorship, hates you. But still, somehow, you survive among us, blessed helots, almost anonymously. Despite everything, you still believe in us, you still believe in yourself, you still believe in our ravaged yet blessed land, South Africa. I wrote this poem for Dennis, and he was present when I read the poem at our organization, the Live Poets Society. Yeah, thank you. He passed away in 2009 from cancer. And obviously, he's a revered figure in my mind, even though I think most South Africans have never heard of him.
I really appreciate you for sharing these kind of pieces that are, and I mean choosing this platform to share these pieces because through you we could just know what is happening. I mean, like history and so very relevant, very. I mean, it's a like direct what do you call first hand experience kind of thing. That is
Yes.
what I believe. That's
Yeah.
first hand kind of
Yeah, I
experience.
knew him personally. I think I can share on this platform. In the last year of his life, when he was already stricken with cancer, he asked me to look after him. So I got to know him very well.
Thank you once again, Seth. I appreciate you joining and please give a round of applause, my dear friends. That was Dr. Deena Padayachee. Please welcome Mr. Devendra KC. Mr. Devendra KC.
Namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Very
Please.
good evening to all from Nepal. Today I'm introducing a small country. I hope that Prasanna is aware about that Birland that lies in between Egypt and Sudan. That is a small piece of land, and I'm also affiliated with that very small nation, I suppose. So I have written a small poem about Birland, Birland, an emerging nation of Africa. I don't know, Dr. Deena is aware about. From the pure hearts with absolutely humanitarian thoughts by the King and Prime Minister's guts, it will be definitely possible to bring a bare land into a sovereign country when good brains are united like a melting pot. The homeless, stateless, and orphans who are looking for food and shelter, Birland would be a dreamland for them first. In the present day world of terror and war, there are still people of such plural hearts to be respected and supported with full trust. To this idea of beautiful dream, we will travel for a long journey, which might be a difficult journey to come across. Building an exemplary nation like Dubai in Africa, in the world, is our thrust. We have to run every steps very carefully because it is a gradual process we should not rush. The helping hands from around the globe, like Mingmadurji Sherpa and Maharaja, are to be always welcome and saluted, but not to be calculated at their cost. Any minds with selfish nature and hidden interests are not of Birland surge, which can be but in a little cost. Love, respect, and humanity must be the nation building crux. Infinite goals starting from a bare land may be a dream of today, but well wishes to this pure commitment are slowly increasing around the globe through the social media brush. On the auspicious day of founding anniversary, Birland stands like a smart racing horse. Me, Birland establishes and live long as a dream's dear Musk. Me, Birland establishes and live long as our dears must. Thank you.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. Thank you for sharing a piece on Berlin, but most of the presenters here would not be knowing about that. So it's a piece of land that is segregated and it's like a voluntary organization that's set up. Uh, Thank you, Devendra sir. Thank you for sharing your piece. And Eden Trinidad would be, very much
Prime
glad
Minister. Prime Minister.
on hearing this. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Please,
sir.
please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Please welcome Miss Sabita Sahu. Miss Sabita Sahu.
Greetings to everybody. Namaste. The title of my poem today I'm going to recite is Mother Arrives. As from tomorrow onwards, Navratri starts. We are always eagerly waiting for this day to celebrate and we welcome Mother Goddess. And we keep her for 9 days, 9 nights, and with great pomp and show, with festive, with new dresses, with variety of foods, we celebrate with family, friends, and relatives. So here goes. The autumnal drums, fringy peaks, the corn ears of ripening paddy sway in the breeze in happy pregnancy. The earth moist and wet is now ready to receive you, goddess, for your stay for 9 nights of fond revelry. The city, the street corners, and homes resonate with prayers for your victory. You have come to trounce evil and vile demons and celebrate the end of sin. The Trinity created you to raise the victory flag over evil and guile. Teach us, O Mother, the courage and strength to fight the earthly demons, which we encounter at home and abroad, and infuse in us the power to fight back all onslaughts of untruth and deceit. Teach us to walk on the path shown by you. Grant us wisdom and light, and bless the earth with seeds of hope. Fill the earth with your fragrance. Let this year be the year of plenty. Turn the world into a beautiful event for mankind to remember in tuneful measures of joy and gratitude. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, everyone.
Let this year be filled with plenty and plenty of happiness, plenty of joy, plenty of abundance, everything, and Mars showers everything all across the world. Thank you for sharing and thank you for this invocation, ma'am. So we are celebrating, we are, entering into the threshold. I mean, bottles of new cycle, Navaratri, we'll be celebrating and days to come from the tomorrow onwards. Thank you for this beginning of this thing. Thank you, Sabita ma'am. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing it. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. That was Sabita Sahu. Christopher, how are you doing? Yes,
Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you.
please go ahead, Christopher.
I want to read some poetry by a late friend of mine, Don Cuddy. I'll show you his picture. Should be able to see that. Dan was, it should be coming up now. Didn't work.
It will slowly. Just take a little moment.
Yeah, let me try again.
Yes.
Yeah, here we go. Dan was an editor of Lochraven Review. And if anybody had submitted to Lochraven, you might have known Dan. He died age 80 on August the 16th. Here he is shown in his house north of Baltimore. Now, I had known Dan for 55 years. We first met at Loyola College, Baltimore. We were both published in the Evening School magazine in the fall of 1970. And let me read a couple of poems of his. Begin Again. Well, it's called Affirmation and Negation all in one. Begin again. No, it can't be done. The galaxy has spun beyond that time and space. The faces are gone. The dawns have dropped like confetti. And though you want so much, nostalgic golden sun, movement of eyelashes, sugar dropping into black coffee, unlacing of crystals, drop of gossamer gown, violins plucking rhythm, a chorus of katydids, and you learning the German word Zeit. No, not to be, the echoes, the silhouettes, walk away, mist, fog, steam, engulfs. And you might wonder why the word Zeit is the German word Zeit. Dan was in Germany before I met him. He was in the US Army. It was the time of Vietnam. And I was lucky that I had a student deferment and did not get sent to Vietnam. I had to go to the US Embassy in Grosvenor Square, London, and sign an agreement that I would agree to serve in the US forces, even though I wasn't a US citizen. And I do know of at least one boy from Liverpool, where I'm from, who was killed in Vietnam, and he had gone to Texas, killed in Vietnam. This is Jackson Square, New Orleans. You can see the statue of Andrew Jackson in the square there. It's the same statue that's in Washington, D.C., opposite the White House. Jackson Square and St. Louis Cathedral by Dan Cuddy. The cathedral, a Spanish mission, wears a Marie Antoinette dress. Looks better than I thought it would. Jackson Square's so trimmed, neat. The flower beds are comfy for the seeds. A poem about such a place should take its cue from the ornamental iron, the fleur-de-lis, grace, touch lightly, the sharp menace on many a fence. A poem here should be a trombone, a brassy slide of less than reverential joy, freedom sass to slavery, swaggerting piety. Joy and glory should be the golden rule, rude, free us from zombies, the worship of the dead. Spray the air with hot dance, perfumes, and flesh. Caress God's creation. Release juicy rhythm from your soul. And I'll finish with this one. This is a poem of his that, excuse me, I read at the celebration of life for Dan on September the 13th. It was held north of Baltimore, where he lived most of his life. And there were about 150 people at this memorial for Dan. Party. She dangled in her voice the sweet and grit of strawberries, flirting as always, soft but slapping, the touch of moist lips, the butterfly of a touch. Then away, a leaf on a wind, a word in a conversation pages ago, not to be repeated, not to be returned to. She skirted down the hall, took her place among the crystals in the chandelier, but later reappeared in the anteroom, all three dimensions, a face in our mirror indulging itself, such juice in the melon, such purple on the plum, such a physical thing. I salivate to despair. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher. Thank you for sharing those pieces of your friends. And, it's such an honor, for you have joined us after a long gap. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. I hope you would continue in the weeks to come.
Thank you, Christopher. I'm happy to know you're in good health and you alive and vibrant as ever.
Still kicking. Good to see you, Lance Carrier.
Thank you. Me too.
Thank you, Christopher. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. That was Christopher. Please welcome Mr. Emmanuel joined us for the first time. Emmanuel, please go ahead and introduce yourself, please. Emmanuel.
Good day, all.
Please turn on your mic. Please, if you're going, turn on your mic, and if you're gonna
Hello,
read.
everyone. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Emmanuel Chimeze from Nigeria, and I'm here to read 3 poems which I have with me here. But before I start, I'm about to publish my own anthology, titled Echoes of a Fading Star. This anthology talks about self-identity, making use of is an experimental style of writing. So I made use of experimentalism and surrealism in my poems. So it will be out very soon. Yeah. All right, the first one I want to read is the Sopha's Diet, and it was gotten from a quote by John Quincy Adams, which says, "I am a warrior so that my son may be a merchant, so that his son may be a poet." So I do get my inspiration from quotes. Sometimes I get my inspiration through a revelation. I can just see a line and then I'll build upon that line and write a poem. The Sopha's Diet. I am a poet, praying twisters into sweaters. I am a poet, singing my song into 14 songs. I am a duet, having pitches behind my bridges. I am a diet on the piano of 5 dynamo. With the nodding of 12 pillars, I am a diet on the sulfur of 2 sodium. By the mercury of 3 atoms. Buying calves, I push my scarf. I shame my 10 sisters. So that is the first poem I wrote, The Sulphur's Diet. From the quote, "I'm a warrior so that my son may be a merchant, so that his son may be a poet," by John Quincy Adams. The second is If Poetry Was a Person. So I wrote this poem from the event we had, International Poetry Day. If poetry was a person, I'd pay a bright price without respite. I'd smile when she frowns, go a long mile. I'd hide in her arms, oh, soothing arms. If poetry was a person, I'd fight tooth and nail without reason. I'd write a new book, turn it into a nook. I'd fly on her wings, make her sing. I had played the piano to a great tempo. If poetry was a person, I'd preach it, loud it, embrace it to the moon. I'd turn a statue into a plateau. I'd praise her, succor her till I become like her. Oh Lord, I'd go to the altar, never to be altered. That is the second poem I wrote. Now the last one, Cruelty in Kindness. It was gotten from the quote, "I must be cruel only to be kind. Thus bad begins and worse remains behind." Cruelty in kindness. The last one. I must be cruel only to be kind. My face frowns up, down to the sky. My lips roar like a pregnant woman. My bowels are the system of unwanted pregnancies. I must be cruel only to be kind. The world is my cord, bonded like twins. All shadows cry like a broken altar. My Lord browse with saber-toothed teeth. I must be cruel only to be kind. My Lord browse with saber-toothed teeth. Thank you so much, sir.
Excellent, Emmanuel. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. This is first time he's joining from Nigeria and he's a young boy. Very beautiful poetry that he shared. Lantern,
Welcome,
please.
welcome, Emmanuel. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Uh, Emmanuel, and please welcome Miss Shwetha Kumari, Dr. Sweta Kumari.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. For some reason, I cannot switch on my video, but I will be reciting my poem. Today, I have selected my poetry titled The Poetry of My Silence. This is a bit different poem that I often recite. To a start, I long to pen down words draped in restless questions, but the ink of my courage never flows from my pen to paper. The countless unsaid thoughts surge within me and are still silent. They could never find their way from my soul to the voice. My emotion seems to pause, seeing every cause crushed before it could get a voice, just like moonlit, so often lingers at the window, yet never reach truly the soul of the room within. My eyes now could only weave stories out of scenarios and situations I witnessed, yet I could tell among stars, sometime in silence or sometime in solitude, or when none is there to listen. For even my lips hesitate to give birth to these tales, just as someone in a crowd so often hesitate to recognize his own people. Every day I look at the paper laid before me, a calm mirror that still waits. I long for the reflection of my inner silence to descend, but before my pen begins, it pauses with a smile and take its rest. Perhaps my pen already knows that my silence has turned into poetry. Yes, now my silence itself has become poetry. My words are like the flowers of a desert that bloom only for the one who thirsty beneath the scorching sun wanders in search of truth. Now my quietude has become my language. It will echo like the final bell that slips unnoticed through the years, yet its resonance lingers on into one's heart long after the sound has passed. That's all. Thank you.
Beautiful, ma'am. Beautiful, beautiful reading and beautiful poem as well. Thank you for sharing it, please. Thank you for that. And please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Please welcome Mr. Mrinal Kanti Ghosh. Mr. Mrinal Kanti Ghosh. Sir, please unmute your mic.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
I am reading my two Bengali poems, little Bengali poems, including English translation. আলো আলো আছে ছায়া আছে মেঘ আছে শুধু স্বাদ নেই পড়ে থাকি সময়ের মুখোমুখি ছবি নেই এই সব ভেবে নিয়ে জীবনেও হাঁটি thoughts sustain me in life while time confronts populace no shelter but shadow and gloom no image but a clouded light. Next poetry. শব্দ কবিতায় তুমি সঙ্গীতময় হও ভাবনার বিরল রহস্যে ভাসে নির্লিপ্ত অঙ্গীকার প্রিয়তার নিয়ে গেছে স্নায়ু শতাব্দী ঘোরে Then let verse and music wait my thoughts and dispel the mystery of separation. A promise shall be kept while centuries traverse the nerves. Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Beautiful, sir. You always shares short and small pieces, but you beautifully poetry share. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. That was Mr. Mrinal Kanti Ghosh, and please welcome Miss Swarna.
Hi everyone. I have two poems for you today. The first one I wrote 2 months ago, and it's untitled. My dreams glow like the moon, piercing the night sky. But sometimes they fall into the crevices of the darkness that threatens to suffocate my life. I watch them unable to breathe, flip-flopping like a dying fish yearning for their life force. But I cannot find the nectar of hope to pour into them and bring them back to life. I am just a human being. Who am I to battle against the forces of darkness? It is silly to even try. But suddenly I think of all that darkness has done to me, how it has choked the joy out of me, moment by moment, how it has held me hostage, turned me into a slave, watched me bury my head in the sand, and laughed at its own malicious ways, making fun of my attempts to simply survive, turning my life into a bloody battleground, wanting to destroy me at my core, making me believe that I am just an expendable thing to the universe, to God. And righteous anger emanates from me like never before. The fury that is born from loving myself ignites the flame of hope in my heart. And I know that my faith in myself and my Creator will give me the wings of a golden phoenix so that I can serve as a soldier of light, the sweet light that softly beckons to us all. Thank you so much. And this is my second one. A little whisper of joy, enough to make me weep, for myself, for humanity, a taste of heaven on the tip of my tongue. What have I sacrificed to be here? Tiny discarded moments, the carcass upon which the rest of my life will be assembled. Meaningless opinions, the constant flux of data in our minds. A worthless ego, the source of all my vices. What have I refused to sacrifice? I guess whatever I believe to be true. Love, faith, all the different names for the Almighty. Anything which I found to be constant. Because if I hung on to that which changed, I would have been in for ride after roller coaster ride. But because I latched on to the permanent, I was able to enjoy the peace of that absolute truth, or what some people call God. A little whisper of joy, like a drop of honey, a reward for going to hell and back, traveling the peaks and valleys lifetimes after lifetimes to find out who I really am, unraveling the conditionings of society, cleaning myself of the grime that builds from getting messy in the playground of life, learning to refrain from making assumptions, connecting with life and its countless forms, dreaming of happiness that lasts, for the little whisper of joy blooms open like a sunflower, consuming the melancholy, who was the quiet stranger that we had almost, not quite, but almost befriended, until we had realized she had been nothing more than the absence of joy, a persisting shadow of our true self that convinced us we were strangers to the universe rather than its children, to accept our helplessness as reality, to believe that we were, in fact, as small as we felt, to cower from the looming sense of doom that threatened to pull us down under, until we stopped questioning and became the shadow itself. But one day I feel a little whisper of joy. It is enough to make me weep, for myself, for humanity, for I can taste heaven at the tip of my tongue. Thank you so much.
Joy. You're not just expandable, you're beyond expandable, you are expandable in being. What a brilliant outpouring, as always, Swarna. I think you could have Roopali ma'am, yeah, Shalini ma'am, yeah, or like Manatita would be, I mean, like they're most deserving persons to be, analyzing your poem or expanding your poem, or like, they could share their reviews. Brilliant, brilliant.
Thank you, Prasanna.
Did she end with "I can taste joy at the tip of my tongue"? Was that what you said?
I said, for I can taste heaven at the tip of my tongue.
Heaven, wow. Even better. You're up there in paradise and Jannah. Glory to you. Beautiful poetry. What can I say? I commended you last week, I think. I really love your poetry.
Thank you. Thank you, Lantern.
Thank you, Landry. Thank you, Swarna. Thank you for sharing your pieces. And the next up is Dr. Roopali, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Prasanna, and good evening, all my dear friends who are here, poets. I'm actually very touched by, the generations that you see on the screen, people of different ages and times, people remembering their histories of their country, and young people, philosophical, dreaming, and yet there is a sadness among the young. And that's very interesting to me that the young people here, I mean, I heard Emmanuel and I heard Swarna and I've heard Shwetha. There's a kind of sadness which is there. Am I right, Shalini and dear Lantern? Somewhere we need to light up the tip of our tongues also from them.
Not in
Find heaven
Africa
there.
because not in Africa
Yeah.
because in the West, a man called Ibrahim Traore has given them hope, and the average age, 60% of Africa is between 20 to 30 years old, and they're all rising and pulling against the West. So they're full of hope at the moment. The continent is emerging very, very fast.
And there is a growing fear of being nice to another human being, which is something we must dwell upon. That if we are good to another human being, then there will be somebody watching us, somebody who may come breathing down our neck because that person has a different faith or belongs to a different community. And I have because when I see all of you, and then I see that every day, every time we are here, there is a festival or there is something on in India. India seems to be a land of, celebrating something. I think we are, this month, like All Souls Day, we also have, in Islam, they have Shubarat. We have what is called Shad. Today is the last day of that. It's the month of Shad. We remember our ancestors and we thank them for what they have given us, for the bones that they've given us, for the flesh, for the legacy they have left us. So it's the month of Shad, and it's a time to remember with gratitude our ancestors. Our prayers and feast for our fathers and grandfathers and our mothers. So this poem, because I live in a very, house which is almost 200 years old, we do believe that our ancestors are roaming around here at some time or the other. Somebody spots an ancestor. And then this Shraddh. These quiet, prayerful days when to light an oil lamp, to walk inside memory by lane beside those who passed over the rainbow a long time ago. A time to know the bones and the muscles which are yours now were theirs too. That smile, the twinkle in the baby's eyes, seem like the fading, reflected, damp wall. This time of the year, when the sun's rays slant away and the torrential monsoons go away, they say our ancestors visit us. These are those days when ghosts walk about casually dropping in just when it's dinner time. Or you may see one under the tall mango tree, the one who had so lovingly planted the mango seed, whose sweetness you had sucked. Most times, the ghost ancestors are men, fathers, grandfathers, their fathers, and sometimes that bachelor uncle who romanced the village girls. Stories abound of war, bullets, and bravery of the Yeti on the mountainside, his lock of hair still preserved. Feasted and feted in their lifetime, these extraordinary men are just a ghost of themselves, hungering and longing for earthly food, curried chicken or mutton roasted on a spit, a sweet and sour pumpkin with puris fried in oil, rice boiled slowly in milk for hours, with jaggery and nuts, all Pitaji's favorite, Pitaji's father, Pitaji's favorite, a patriarchal ghost indeed. He will watch in ghostly silence as the raggedy poor will eat. And mother, what should we cook for her? Ask the girls, they were always with her. Her helping hands, still soldiers in uniform, came on horses and took them away to bear their sons. And Ammi, what is she like to eat? Who? Ammi, frail Ammi. No one seemed to know. She ate after her husband, and children had eaten, they said, whatever little remained. Sometimes nothing at all, perhaps just a cup of tea. Now, I think that this is true of women all over the world, that we, even after we pass this world, the celebrations are for the patriarchal ghost, the male ghost. So today was Shraddh, the last day of it. Now, may I, with your permission, Prasanna, read another short poem?
Please, ma'am. Please.
Yeah, okay. So, I've started writing on trees. Now, this is on the mulberry tree and the silkworm. Now, the silkworm, when they're crawling up the mulberry tree, they remind me of, people scrambling to get somewhere, to get to the top. Some of them hang around there, fall off. Some just totter around, stay there. So they crawled up the tall, leafy mulberry tree, dozens of them pushing, shoving, rolling, and clinging. Many fell down, and in heaps they lay. Some reached the pinnacle and tottered. Ambition is an unhappy thing. A few crept precariously on a leafy branch and rolled themselves into a leaf. Well, all around the struggle continued, these slept peacefully, dreaming of rainbows. And then one sunny day, the leaf quills opened of resplendent colors and flew into the blue. Such must be our lives too. Away from material struggle, away from the rush and crush, quiet and meditative life where the wings of self-knowledge takes us inward to another universe. This is for you, lantern carrier. So the Lord said, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you can say this to the mulberry tree. Be pulled up by the roots and be planted in the sea, and it would obey you. So this is the, the rush and the crush of the mulberry tree being crawled up with these little creatures, and how important it is to live a meditative life. So Shalini and Lantern Carrier, this poem is for you, both who I know live a very spiritual life.
Very keenly, and you spoke about the wings of knowledge. But even in your introduction, you were talking about kindness, and then I began to think about empathy, and in the way my teacher used to say, consciousness spreads. What you offer to the, if you kind to others, others would be kind to you, and that kind of consciousness would spread. And Dr. Roopali, it's not your first time. You tend to embrace these ideas. I'm silent, but I do notice when you try to give hope and you express that broader sense of goodwill to Prasanna and the poets here, but to the larger consciousness, to the world at large, because everything is energy and everything carries. And what we see happening in the world, God knows we need that energy. So I pay homage to you, Dr. Roopali. I pay homage and respect to you. Speaking about the wings of knowledge, this is what we need. Not the knowledge of man, but the wisdom of the infinite.
Thank you so much. And I'm reading your book, and
Oh,
I'm a
I've forgotten
I'm
that.
a slow reader, so my journey is slow. But I'm actually imbibing it. I'm trying to learn.
Oh, great.
What an incredible life you've had. What an incredible life. Yes.
Yeah, chapter 1 is about me, and then making the connections.
Yeah.
And then it gets better.
I mean, that's the very special thing about Fertile Brain and Prasanna is that he's bringing together people from all over the world and people with, from different generations. And that is what's very fascinating, it's very important. Thank you,
Indeed.
all you young people, who are reading poetry here, because you are opening up another world to us.
Thank you. Thank you.
How beautiful indeed. So I could not say as much as Lantern, but yes, I could just say how beautiful. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Roopali, I think can I take a moment? Roopali, I think your second poem is as beautiful, but I think and profound. And, it's there's in this world of darkness all around, that hope and that little lamp goes a long way. And I think even a tiniest thought that lights up, all the darkness, I think it's marvelous because, just a little bit of light goes a long way to illumine everybody's paths. So I think Lantern has spoken so much about that poem, but I loved also your poem, your first poem, which today being, yes, the last day of Pitrapaksh. So I brought back all the memories of me. Today was the puja, and you of course, you honor them each and every single day, because in some way, genetically, in the process of thoughts, in the process of evolving and consciousness, I think, we in any case carry with us in some form or the other from all our ancestors, and I think you imagine apart from our own samskaras, we also carry with us, all their wonderful, wonderful qualities, which they have so lovingly imparted to us. So I think it's beautiful. And your poem has the little nuances where, you didn't just talk about Pitripaksh, but you brought in tradition, you brought in the cross-cultural section of people, the women, and all the little things about the women eating last. And in that, it's always universally a selflessness. So it was absolutely wonderful because, you talked about culture, you talked about everything. So it was a wonderful, your poem was absolutely very insightful. And Swarna, I loved your poem, absolutely. There are some brilliant lines, shades of brilliance in some of the phrases that you use, in some of the lines that you use. And yes, there is always a melancholy strain. I think in today's world, the youngsters do have to face so many challenges in life, so many stresses. But the wonderful part is that is a process, through that one sees the light. And I think, if one evolves into an expansive consciousness, I think it's very well worth it. So keep on writing, and it was really wonderful. Thank you so much, both of you, and everyone for that matter.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Shankara, are you reading? Shankara. Please turn on your mic and video so that we could hear your poem, Sankara. Or you could just enjoy the reading, whatever it is. And if you could just, and Sabita ma'am, be ready with your audio poem as well. And please welcome Cristy Galvez. Cristy.
Good evening. Hi. This moment I read the poems of the Julie Pujol Carrero. Cover us, Lord, in your protective mantle. Beneath your wings give us your warmth. Extend, my Lord, your protective mantle. May I reach my family and grandchildren today. Extend your protective mantle covering my neighbors. Cover my friends wherever they might be, that they can feel your love as I can feel your presence. Cover me under your wings. Give me your warmth so they can know my Jesus, with whom I may converse, that you are my pastor, Lord. Cobijamos, Señor. Cántico gradual. Cobijamos, Señor, en tu manto protector, debajo de sus alas danos tu color. Extiende, mi Señor, tu manto protector, que alcance a mi familia y a mis nietos hoy. Extiende aún más, Señor, tu manto protector que cubra a los vecinos que hay a mi alrededor, que cubra a mis amigos donde quiera que estén, que sienta tu cariño como lo siento yo. Cobíjame en tus alas y dame tu calor, que sepa Jesucristo con los que yo converso, que tú eres mi pastor. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, Cristy. Thank you for joining. Thank you.
Maravilloso. Estupendo.
Thank you, has joined us from Guatemala. So please give a round of applause, my dear friends. She has gone. She's there. Yeah. Thank you, Cristy. Please welcome Miss Shalini. Go ahead, ma'am.
So good evening, good morning, greetings to all these wonderful, wonderful poets and each and every one. And good evening at Prasanna, Roopali. It's once again, it's always wonderful to be here. And as I think Sabita touched on the Durga Puja, the Navaratris becoming tomorrow. So starting tomorrow. So I thought I'll read out a poem which was in Roopali's Cityscapes, and I will read on Kolkata's Pujo. So the poem is entitled Kolkata, Pujo. A year of longing, waiting for pujas, when Kolkata comes alive, festive, bedecked, bejeweled, a glittering bright. Vibrant colors, unforgettable taste of Bengal's rich cultural heritage. The exquisite artistry, craftsmanship, stunning, poignant themes, the visually and spiritually uplifting, unsurpassable puja pandals. A beautiful display of traditional saris, delectable aroma of street food, Rabindra Sangeet, Bollywood songs, streets bursting with people drenched in fragrances of devotion and soulful ambience. Myriad forms, countless expression of the goddess, fervor of the puja, arati, dhuni, illumined moments when the Divine Mother awakens Kolkata's soul to blossom. I gaze at our exquisite puja pandal. Ma, Your intoxicating beauty, your jewel-like radiance casts an irresistible sacred spell. You surge within me incessantly. I am not there, only you and silence. Interspersed with the powerful words, invocation of Sanskrit mantras, sacred chanting. Sarva Mangal Mangalye Shive Sarvarth Sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. The beats of the dhaki, Shankadhwani, Sindur Khela, fragrances of chandan, dhoop, incense, an aura of auspiciousness, and my quickening heartbeat. Ma, you are ready to leave. The truck pauses for a while, my terrace aglow, transformed into a radiant sanctum sanctorum. I stand transfixed in a trance, lost in the unknown mystery of your dark lotus eyes, an infinite ocean of unfathomable love. The scintillating light of all lights, I follow you, adorable mother, in a veil of streaming tears, through Park Street, College Street, Howrah, Eden Gardens, at Babu Ghat for Visarjan. Time takes me decades back to Krishna Ghat, banks of the Ganges, rivers in my eyes, bare feet, heart torn asunder, watching the boatman ferry my mother, idle midstream. The Divine Mother entering the womb of the holy river, merging into her formless, eternal, all-pervading existence. Thank you. So this is Kolkata now. I mean, I think it just comes alive, and I think, you know, Mother there, so I think the whole of Kolkata awakens into a soulful, you know, it's, you just cannot escape the devotion, the bhakti, you know, that kind of just flows. And I think this is to me, this is what the soul of Kolkata is. It's Ma Durga. So this is the poem that I think was there in the cityscapes.
Exactly.
And I thought,
well, thank you, Shalini. That was, I think you really needed to, show a short film because it's Calcutta is, as it's called Kolkata now, is the heritage place now, isn't it? And the celebration of Durga Puja is the United Nations, UNESCO has made it a heritage. Uh, included it in its legacy of heritage places. And I haven't seen it, but I can imagine what it must be like. In fact, today is a very interesting day because at 4 a.m., the goddess was invoked and she came down slowly from the heavens. Slowly, she descended, the divine goddess. And then today is also Amavasya, which means it's a new moon, there's no moon. And then there is the Shrad, and then there's a solar eclipse on. The kind of thing. So, what happens is that we as human beings, we are so overwhelmed by nature. We're really overwhelmed by nature, and that's why we bow down to nature so much. Thank you.
I think it's from the Amavasya and the darkness, which has its own illumination, I think. And then we proceed in these 10 days to evolving symbolically into gaining the victory over all negative forces. And I think that is the very significance of the 9 days of Navaratri and the Vijayadashmi, which is the day of victory on the 10th day. So yes, and I think there's so many things that have aligned together today. So I feel, it's again, a moon unraveling the darkness unraveling into something, hopefully into some kind of brightness and effulgence. And I think we all need that positivity.
Exactly. Thank you for having this surge of energy. It happens because the cycle does, coincidence of all these things, astronomical or what you call cosmic things that are happening. So expect more, and it's a happiness around. Thank you, ma'am. Please welcome. Please give a round of applause, and please welcome Manatita Hutchinson, Lantern Carrier.
Wow, so much light. India is. I had a conversation with a lady once, and we were saying that it's really very hard to separate India, from its puja. It's literally in everything, really. Even with the Bollywood, if in its Ganga, its Saraswati, in its dance, in its politics, in its science, because it goes all the way back to the rishis and seers and the holy sacred scriptures, of course. But a joy to see you again, Shalini Behan, and I'm very, very happy to see you as always, and you have lofty and sublime things to contribute, as always. I'll read one of my two poems, which both of them express in a different way what you ladies have been saying. I'll read this one. They say you're the Messiah. I have not known you to be contained in cypress or sepulchres, nor even in my nearest Jewish synagogue. I searched for you in the lofty Sanskrit sutras, but you were not confined to manuscripts and doctrines. I paid homage to the sacred shrines of Mecca, but found instead that you're hidden in my heart. Who exalted Moses in the burning bush? Didn't you ascend from a cross and rise victorious? O light of my light, they try to restrict you in boxes, yet your love preceded the eloquence of scholars, rose again in the breath of the one called Lazarus. Daniel was cast into a den of lions, but you entered the lair, adorning his soul with rhapsody. The magenta leaves cascade your elegance, while darkness covers you in shrouds, only so you can rise again in the supernal excellence of daybreak. When I'm in pain and suffering, you even hide within my tears. A dark night which makes me tremble, only to show adversity as the candle of your love. You are the one with numerous names and forms, the pure white snow dancing, cradling the dawn of the new Jerusalem. Joseph was thrown into a well of suffering, but you lifted him to glory in his father's kingdom. No prison bars a dream, neither is thy love contained in narrow lanes. You're in the breeze and ethereal symphonies, paint sunsets in my shadows, cradle me in my joys and transient moments. You are the blue landscape in the firmament, the quintessence of my excellence, and I long for the smile of your awakening sunrise. Beloved, I have torn my garment of emotions only to place it on your remedial table. I have fashioned this heart in the agony of yearning for a sweet glimpse of thy feet. You came to me in my darkness, lifted me up from ignorance, embracing me like a father and son. Now I want to hold you as close as possible to my joy, so we can both cry out in ecstasy as one. Sweet Shyama, fill my heart with the delight of the prodigal returning to glory in his father's house. Grant me the fire of Daniel, heart burning with unshakable faith in the middle of a den of lions. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown into a fiery furnace by the king of Babylon. But you came walking through the flames, vanquishing the heat with your breath of love. I, my deliverer, such sweetness in thy symphony. Now my soul becomes a delicate harp, echoing the psalms of David's lute, adorning the grandeur of the scarlet moon. Cute, dazzling empress, delight of my delights, you that hide in the core of the realm of immortals, give light to the sun and moon, breathe in the wonder of shooting stars and the bewildering spectacle of galaxies. Come, Lantern Carrier. Thank you.
Undoubtedly, yourself. What a tapestry of imagery. I would like.
Congratulations.
Muchísimas gracias, señora.
Thank you. That was lovely imagery. So please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Give it up for Lantern and please welcome Dr. Varindera Gogna.
Thank you, Varsana, for giving me a chance. I joined late because I was a little busy. So I just came and entered your den and heard listen to poems. I write in English, Hindi, and Punjabi. Punjabi is the original language. Do you like to listen a Punjabi poem? It
Please,
is just
go ahead, sir. Please, Punjabi. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
please.
It is a different. The title is Yatim. Yatim is orphan. बनवास का हिंदी में अनुवाद कर दो या इसका ऐसे ही पंजाबी में पढ़ के सुना दूं?
पंजाबी में ही बोलिएगा.
Okay, एक बार मैं पंजाबी में पढ़ता हूं और फिर
just is enough. Just is enough.
Yes. बनवास का ਸ਼ਰਾਪ ਭੁਗਤਣ ਲਈ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਰਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਦਸ਼ਰਥ ਜਿਹੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜਾਂ ਕਕਈ ਜਿਹੀ ਔਰਤ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ. ਉਹ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਚਾਈ ਚਾਈ ਵਿਦੇਸ਼ ਕਾਲਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਜਲਾ ਵਤਨ ਦੀ ਹੂਕ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਇਰ ਜਲਾ ਵਤਨ ਦੀ ਹੂਕ ਅਲੜ ਉਮਰ ਦੀ ਦਹਲੀਜ਼ ਤੇ ਪੈਰ ਰੱਖਦਿਆਂ ਹੀ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਪਾ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ. ਬੇਰੁਖੀ ਅਤੇ ਨਾਪਸੰਦਗੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੀ ਮੁਲਕ ਨਾਲ ਵਤਨ ਨਾਲ ਤੇ ਲੰਕਾ ਜਾਣ ਦਾ ਮੰਤਵ ਕਿਸੇ ਸੀਤਾ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾਉਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ. ਮਾਰੂਥਲ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਮੁਲਕ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਮਾਰੂਥਲ ਨੂੰ ਜੀ ਜਾਨ ਨਾਲ ਬਗੀਚਾ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਲਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਸਾਰੀ ਉਮਰ. ਰਾਜਨੀਤੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਨਾੜੂ ਤਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਕੱਟ ਲਿਆ ਦੇ ਨੇਵਲ ਨਾੜੂ ਤਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਕੱਟ ਲਿਆ. ਹੁਣ ਕੋਈ ਡਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੱਦੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾਣ ਦਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਲక్ష్మణ ਰੇਖਾ ਨੂੰ ਟੱਪਣ ਦਾ. ਰੋਜ਼ ਹੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਸਰੂਪ ਨਖਾ ਦਾ ਸਾਥ ਚੰਗਾ ਲੱਗਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. The foreign ਰੋਜ਼ ਹੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਸਰੂਪ ਨਖਾ ਦਾ ਸਾਥ ਚੰਗਾ ਲੱਗਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. ਓਪਰੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਦਾ ਵਾਇਜ਼ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. ਰੁਲਦੇ ਰੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਡਿੱਗਦੇ ਢਹਿੰਦੇ ਰਾਜੇ ਪੁੱਤ ਹੁਣ ਬੇਸਮੈਂਟਾਂ 'ਚ ਰਿਫਿਊਜੀ ਬਣ ਗਏ. ਰਾਜੇ ਪੁੱਤ ਹੁਣ ਬੇਸਮੈਂਟਾਂ 'ਚ ਰਿਫਿਊਜੀ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਰਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ. ਕਿਉਂ ਧਰੋ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਕਿਉਂ ਪਾਪ ਕਮਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ? ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ. ਆਪਣੇ ਹੀ ਕਰਮਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੀ ਕਰ ਕਮਲਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਵੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਢਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ. ਦੇ ਆਰ ਚੇਂਜਿੰਗ ਦੇਅਰ ਲਾਈਫਸ. ਤੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਜਿਉਂਦੇ ਜੀ ਮਾਂ ਬਾਪ ਨੂੰ ਉਲਟੀ ਗੰਗਾ ਬਹਾ ਕੇ ਯਤੀਮ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ. ਧਰਤੀ ਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੁੱਤ ਨੂੰ ਯਤੀਮ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ. ਕਿਉਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਾਂ ਬਾਪ ਨੂੰ ਜੀਂਦੇ ਜੀ ਯਤੀਮ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ. This is the other way around. This is in a way little bit I can say it is a satire on the present setup when the most of the people they just want to move out of the world and they are leading a very affluent life here in India and they belong to very rich families but they just want to move the other country because they feel that there are no limits on them, no boundaries on them. And ultimately, what is the purpose? Here they have a big, we can say, system where they are working and they have their own employees. But there they just become the, we can say, the workers. And they are leading a life in basements. You have heard, you understood that. Or कुछ से mythologically Lanka and Sita and Srupnakha, I have tried to build in some system. Most of my Indian poets, they might be able to listen it and understand it. Uh, because this is my book which I am going to through. I talk to you. So this is one poem in that anthology. So generally it was in my mind. Let me share that. Otherwise, I was ready with my English poem also and Hindi poem also. We will do in the next time. So that will be continuously we will be interacting. And Mr. Lantern's poem, that was great. And the Kolkata, I too heard the two. And both of the poets, they have done wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for bringing such a beautiful, such a wonderful piece, a very thought-provoking one that you shared out. Thanks for coming and thank you for sharing. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Please welcome Miss Saraswati Poswal. Miss Saraswati Poswal.
Good morning, good evening, namaskar, sat sri akal, adab, salam to everyone. Thank you so much, K. Kumar Prasanna ji and your entire team, Fertile Brains, all the poets present, and it was nice listening and fabulous. I'm speechless. And with their words, wonderful poem, all was reciting and listened regarding the ancestors and all. Whole day, this have been passed through. Last 15 days, we are celebrating these days. So it was wonderful listening to you, Roopali ma'am and Shalini ma'am. Wonderful. Now I would like to start with one of my small recitation on as recently National TV Day has passed away. So I'll speak something on that before. National TV Day. National TV Day dinner day. I celebrated my dinner. You know why? To enjoy, to take yourself relax. Today, National TV Day dinner, I celebrated, you know why? To enjoy, to make yourself relax. Frozen thoughts to chill, frozen food to grill. Frozen thoughts to chill, frozen food to grill, all fridge stuff to micro. All fridge stuff to micro, chill with TV show to giggle. Chill with TV show to giggle. More time for couples to mingle. More time for couples to mingle. Frozen old food to be finished. Frozen old food to be finished. New stuff to be loaded. New stuff to be loaded. Moments of fun for working. Moments of fun for working. Embracing the ideas. Embracing the ideas of packing. The food you get riding giving yourself a break, enjoying and watching from stove for no slaving. The idea was good, motivating, enjoying with TV, gossiping, easy meal by selecting, best escape for haters of cooking. Best escape for haters of cooking. So this was a TV television day dinner enjoyed by me. So now I like to sing few lines written by me as we are having from tomorrow onwards, we are welcoming Navratras. And these 9 days we'll be celebrating Navratras in the welcome of Goddess Durga all over the India in various forms. Mata Durga has nine roop and they will be celebrated in each house and will be decorating with cleaning the temples and the statues of Durga Ma and putting them all festing them with daily food, offering them as well as will be decorating them with the beautiful clothes, red dupattas, bangles, and everything. In this way, Mata will be welcomed in every house. There are 9 days. First Navrata is for Shailputri Mata. She is welcomed on the first Navrata. And the second Navratra, we welcome our second Navratra, we welcome Brahmacharni Mata. And the third Navratra, we welcome Chandraghata Mata. And on the fourth Navratra, the Kushmanda Mata is welcomed. And on the fifth Navratra, we welcome Adi Shakti. And on the Chata Navratra, we welcome the Katayani Roop of Mata. And on the seventh Navratra, we welcome the Kal Ratri Mata and the Atma Navratra, 8th Navratra. We welcome the Atma Navratra Kanjak Roop of Mata, and on the 9th Navratra, Nava Navratra, Siddhatri Mata is welcomed. In this way, we welcome all the 9 goddesses in our house and welcome them, fest them, and in the 8th Navratra, we give them a feast with the 9 or 11 Kanjak or 7 in the small children group. We call them and we give them a feast, and in this way we enjoy these 7 days by keeping the fast. So I'll also be fasting from tomorrow. So it was the welcoming and everything was to be prepared. आज ancestors का विदा था, और जैसे मैम ने बोला आज ancestors का विदा, और आज अमावस्या भी है और ग्रहण भी था. So there were so many things all together. We were busy in enjoying and celebrating as well. तो छोटे सी कुछ पंक्तियां मैं आपके समक्ष पेश करना चाहूंगी, अपनी हिंदी में है, जो माता के लिए मैंने लिखी हैं, फॉर गॉडेस माँ. मैंने क्या काम किया तेरा भला, मैंने क्या काम किया तेरा भला, मैया जो तूने मुझको तार दिया, मैया जो तूने मुझको तार दिया, मैंने क्या काम किया तेरा भला, मैया तूने मेरे सिर पे हाथ रखा, मैया तूने मेरे सिर पे हाथ धरा, मैंने क्या काम किया तेरा भला, मैंने क्या काम किया तेरा भला, मैया जो तूने मुझको थाम लिया, मैया जो तूने मुझको थाम लिया, ये जरूरी तो नहीं था कि पल में तुझको भूलूं, ये जरूरी तो नहीं था कि एक पल में तुझको भूलूं, मैंने बस तेरा मेरी मैया तेरा नाम लिया, मैंने बस मैया तेरा नाम लिया, मैंने क्या काम किया तेरा भला, तूने आकर मुझे ऐसे थाम लिया, जैसे डूबे तो किनारा है मिला, जैसे डूबे को किनारा है मिला, मैंने मैया तेरे चरणों का सहारा है लिया, मैंने मैया तेरे चरणों का सहारा है लिया, जाने क्या काम किया तेरा भला, तूने आकर मुझे मैया थाम लिया, जैसे प्यासे को भिगोया हो गया, जैसे प्यासे को भिगाया हो गया, वैसे ही मैया तूने मुझे थाम लिया, वैसे मैया तूने मुझे थाम लिया, अपने ही रंग में रंगाया मुझे, अपने ही रंग में रंगाया मुझे, जैसे मुझे आसमां मिला ही दिया, जैसे मुझे आसमां मिला ही दिया, मैंने क्या काम किया तेरा भला, तूने आकर मुझे थाम लिया, तूने आकर मुझे यूं थाम लिया. धन्यवाद. जय माता दी. आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आप सभी को नवरात्रों की बहुत बहुत बधाई. मेरी तरफ से धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया।
धन्यवाद मैम, नवरात्रि शुभकामनाएं और आगे भी होगी अगले हफ्ते ढेर सारे पूजा हमारे। थैंक यू मैम, प्लीज गिव अ राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज फ्रेंड्स, प्लीज
Thank you.
वेलकम मिस हीरा नवाज, मिस Isabell VanMerlin, Miss Isabell VanMerlin. Isabel, please unmute your mic. Isabell VanMerlin, please. Isabell VanMerlin.
Sorry. I had to answer the door. Well, good morning, everybody. I don't have a lot to read. I'm just starting a piece. But I would ask you for your good thoughts and your prayers and your if you can send me energy for my back and my heart. I'm moving in this next month, and I'm moving to a town called Oroville, California, and it was started. Oro in Spanish means gold, so my new slogan is, "I'm going to Gold City to strike it rich." I hope. Yeah. So I've moved many times and it's not fun. And well, it's a good thing that I'm doing. But anyway, I feel tired already. So I had just it's well, again, I wasn't planning to read quite so soon, but I have a piece that I wrote last year, and it's kind of rude, but it's a memory. It's called Past Tense of He. He always asks about you, and that means I'm one up on him or more, to my way of thinking. I bet he never asks when she's around. He's not handsome and virile anymore. He probably can't get it up anymore. Does he love her anymore? Did he ever? She has money. He never did. She probably liked to screw. I never did. He wasn't that good. Only one or two were. Frenchmen, now that I think about it. I'm smiling. I can let him go now. He didn't ruin my life, although I blamed him plenty. I hope I messed him around a little. A satisfying thought. I made it to win in spite of him, not despite him, even because of him. I thought it was to survive at the time. Now I see it was to be true to myself. I'm good, strong, powerful, resilient, creative, intelligent, fun. Why do I get so mad? My body is not my brain or my heart, and my mouth has better uses than letting off steam or breathing out fire. I convert the fire to chi, strong, hot, powerful chi. I will be me. So.
Indeed, you will be you, my best Isabel. And remember, the moon sees everything in the dark, and every question will be answered.
Right.
Thank you.
And I want to encourage everybody else here. You know, we're all poets. We're all writing. We're all expressing ourselves, and we can only be who we are. But we are unique. We're powerful. We're strong. We're good people. Okay. Believe in yourself. Be Be yourself. Be your good self. I so appreciate this group, and thank you. Thank you. I may not see you for a few weeks, but I hope. Send me strength and packing boxes. Thank you.
Isabel, I wish you very well. I will pray for you and keep you in my thoughts. I'm sure everything is going to be fine. Generally, we get what do they call it in England? Jitters. We become a bit anxious, but they nearly always work out, so you'll be fine.
Of course, of course. Thank you so much. Yeah. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Namaste.
Thank you. Really. Shankara, would you like to read a poem? Shankara. Shankara, please unmute your mic. Please unmute and turn on your video. Shankara. Please unmute your mic and go ahead reading your poem. I can't spell your name. Mazekuddin Shankara. Shankara, go ahead. I believe he's having a little.
He seemed to call himself or herself Maje Kodumi. Maje Kodumi.
Okay, greetings to you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Greetings.
I think Prasanna wants you to read.
Can you say that again, please?
Would you like to read your poem?
Yeah, yes, I would. But currently, I'm in a public transport. I just had to log in so that I don't miss the conversation going on. But if it's fine, in the next 5 minutes, I should be in a conducive place where I can recite my poem and everybody can have the opportunity to listen well, sir.
Sure.
Prasanna, you heard that?
We look
Thank you so
forward
much.
to it, Shankara. Thank you, Landran, and thank you, Shankara, for joining, and thank you, Emmanuel. Please welcome Miss Satinder Kaur.
Good evening, Prasanna ji, and good evening to all the poets here. My warm greetings for everyone. And I am going to recite a poem about time, how relentless it is, and how it leaves an impact upon everything and everyone's life. And the poem goes like this. I have given the title to the poem, Mirror of Time. Aghast, I found myself caught unawares. Aghast, I found myself caught unawares when my mirror glared at me surreptitiously, making me understand its not so irrelevant smile, making me understand its not so irrelevant smile that I had entered into the winter of my life, that I had entered into the winter of my life. The grey strands of my hair, thin lines around my lips, round belly pouch with handles around my waist, and faded look in my eyes. Oh, the mirror must be playing a cruel joke. Oh, the mirror must be playing a cruel joke. How could a slender, vibrant, resilient girl turn into a shapeless figure only in a few quickly moving years? How could a slender, vibrant, resilient girl turn into a shapeless figure only in a few quickly moving years? It seems to me the matter of yesterday. It seems to me the matter of yesterday when a shy bride in her red and golden trousseau entered in her husband's home, eyes filled with dreams. Entered in her husband's home, eyes filled with dreams. days, months, years, racing at a fast speed. Days, months, years, racing at a fast speed. Home, hearth, children, school, profession, all swirling in the same run of the mill. All swirling in the same run of the mill. Hopes, dreams, success, failure, each taking its turn. The luster of spring, summer, and the autumn have stealthily waved goodbye. The luster of spring, summer, and the autumn have stealthily waved goodbye, leaving me colorless in the thorny lap of winter. Leaving me colorless in the thorny lap of winter. The winter that had seemed so far away, the winter that had seemed so far away, had approached so soon, had approached so soon. Unprepared for the aches and numbness, unprepared for the aches and numbness, loss of strength and loosened denture, hunched back and crackling knee joints that had become a part of many of my elders' lives, that had become a part of my elders' lives. I remember how I used to engage myself in mimicry. I remember how I used to engage myself in mimicry, eating, walking, and talking like them, eating, walking, and talking like them, never imagining I would soon be a target too, never imagining I would soon be a target too. Thank you.
Excellent, ma'am. Excellent. So beautiful. I like your reading always. So slow and beautiful reading, very clear and very clear. The clarity of what the words and you could hear the voice.
Thank you.
They're
Thank you.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful poem, Satinder. You really got, age is something everybody's going to experience, everybody. But we're
Yeah.
never prepared for it. We're never prepared for it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we are not. I'm glad we are not.
The winter comes so soon. We are not prepared for that winter.
Yes.
We keep enjoying the summer and spring and the autumn, but we never think of the winter that will definitely fall upon each one
And
of
then,
us.
we have that very famous line from Browning poems, which says that grow old with me, the best is yet to be.
Best is yet to be.
Yes.
So,
Thank you so much. Beautiful poem.
thank you, Roopali. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Please welcome Dr. Anita Sharma.
गुड इवनिंग एंड नमस्ते टू वन एंड ऑल प्रेजेंट है। सॉरी प्रसन्ना जी, आज मैं कुछ लेट हो गई हूँ। जैसे कि आप सब जानते हैं, आज फाइनल पितृपक्ष था। जैसे मैम ने बताया, अब नवरात्रे शुरू होने वाले हैं। बहुत अच्छे इन्होंने रिदमिक नवरात्रों का आगमन कर दिया। थैंक यू सो मच मैम। बस कुछ गेस्ट्स थे, जो गेस्ट मेरे अभी 7:30 बजे गए घर से, तब मैं फ्री हुई। और आज मैं कुछ ज्यादा पहले से तो कुछ तैयार नहीं कर सके थे, लेकिन जब हमारे गेस्ट 5 बजे बातें कर रहे थे, उस समय 2 बातें हुई। एक तो ये हुआ कि एक न्यूज थी जहाँ पे एक बेबी सिटर है और वो छोटे बच्चे को हैरेस कर रहे हैं, तो उसके बारे में गेस्ट बात कर रहे थे। तो उसके ऊपर मैं अभी लिख ही रही हूँ, अभी रफ ड्राफ्ट है मेरे पास। एक उसके ऊपर मैं एक छोटी सी पोएम प्रेजेंट कर रही हूँ कि एक अच्छा बेबी सिटर होना और एक खराब बेबी सिटर होने में कितना मुश्किल है पेरेंट्स के लिए, और कैसी दुविधा होती है पेरेंट्स को जब ऑफिस जाना होता है और बच्चों को बेबी सिटर के पास छोड़ना होता है। और दूसरी जो बातें गेस्ट कर रहे थे, वो कोलकाता रेप केस के बारे में कर रहे थे। और बार बार उस डॉक्टर बच्चे को बेचारी कह रहे, तो जो मुझे कुछ पता नहीं क्यों अच्छा नहीं लग रहा था। तो दूसरी कविता मैं उस पे भी लिख रही हूँ, और ये दोनों रफ ड्राफ्ट है। मैं चाहूंगी आप लोग इसको थोड़ा फेयर करने में मेरी मदद करें। The very first poem is in English, and the title of the poem is A Babysitter. When babies are born and mothers are often torn in the tussle of baby care by a family or by a friend, the pressure of form in office and demand of those two pretty eyes and the emotional twisted lips bleeds her heart as if a sharp knife has pierced through the blossom and bosom of pain and pleasure in her arms. An agency sent female hired stand in wait. Parents in an unpredictable note are haunted to give their life in the hands of an unknown body, while the little angel is mere afraid at the sight and purpose of this new person who has arrived to get hold of it. Still, the homestand haunted without her parents. The morning cries and commotion gives tears to mom and baby, as if mother, like a soldier, is going for a war. Unknown, unnoticed, unseen for hours and sometimes for days, putting baby in the prison of a babysitter who shows love and hate as per the tantrums shown by the baby, making her life either heaven or hell as per the convenience. Once a baby was looked after for mere money and pleasure. In privacy, the reward was bruised body and thighs of innocent twisted, swollen arms and legs, head banged on walls and floor that gave nightmares, scare to the infant in care, left alone at home, who wriggled in pain with tears running down the eyes and nose. Poor angel, startled, shocked at the unkind mercy of a babysitter. Thank you. And the other one, I'm going to present in Hindi. This is because everyone was saying that bichari doctor, and I somehow didn't like the word. So I wrote it in an opposite, in a you would say confronting, direction. The title of the poem is बेचारी क्यों? हर बार लड़की ही बेचारी क्यों? बेचारा वो दरिंदा है, वो आदमी है, वो इंसान है जो पैदा होकर भी अमानुष निकला। बेचारी वो माँ है जिसने एक इंसान की जगह दिया जन्म हैवान को। बेचारा वो पिता है जिसकी परवरिश में था खोट। बेचारा ये समाज जिसने आंखें होते हुए भी धारण कर लिया है वेश उस गांधारी का। बेचारा है ये सिस्टम जहां ओहदे और धन के लिए खड़े हैं अफसर शूरवीर। नेताओं के मटमैले गलियारों में खड़े हैं बेटियों के तड़पते चीखते नोचे हुए खून से लथपथ बदन पर। नारी तो देवी है, देवी रहेगी, कल भी वीरांगना थी और आज भी है। निर्भया अभया बन खड़ी है, हर जुल्म के खिलाफ अड़ी है। दर्द भरी शहादत लिए विश्व को सबक दे जाती, सदा हौसलों से जीती और बुलंदी की पराकाष्ठा पर मौत से जूझती। फिर वो बेचारी क्यों? थैंक यू।
पर कहीं ना कहीं आपने माँ का शब्द वहां पे डाला था। आप माँ, वो माँ बिचारी है क्यों?
माँ मुझे इसलिए बेचारी लगी क्योंकि शायद वो परवरिश नहीं कर पाई उस बच्चे की जो होनी चाहिए थी।
आपने तो वो उसका उल्टा वर्णन
नहीं,
किया।
नॉट गर्ल्स माँ, दैट अमानुष माँ।
अच्छा,
Okay.
Acha. Okay.
But
Sorry.
I have a question to ask you,
These are the
Dr.
rough
Anita.
drafts. Still, yes, ma'am.
I have a problem with the word abhaya and nirbhaya for women who have not only been raped, but they have been brutalized, beaten, their bones broken, and torn and shredded. I mean, that's the kind of thing that have happened to these two women. And why do we think that they were fearless? Why do we use? I mean, these are patriarchal terms,
Mhm.
कुछ ढकने के लिए बात को ढकने के लिए हम उनको अभाया बोल दे रहे हैं, निर्भया बोल दे। आप उस मोमेंट को सोचिए ना कि उस at that moment when the brutality is happening, is it possible? Is it possible? Why are we giving these names? What happened to their names? What happened to these people?
Yeah, these names were given by the media, I think, at those times when we were
Yeah, and I
having
think
those
they're
news and
patriarchal
all.
terms
Yeah.
to just cover up. So जैसे
But
आपको बिचारी, the way you
every
don't like
time people
बिचारी.
are, ma'am, I'm not with the word bechari for those, girls, because they fought, till they actually died. It wasn't they surrendered, in front of those, goons.
We
So
don't
that's
know.
why.
We don't know. We're not witness to it. We don't know.
Because those girls, they really, died very fearlessly. So that's why I thought, why everyone is saying bechari. I think bechari would be those people, those who are doing this crime, the brutal crime.
No, that I understand. I mean, you have a very good point there. I'm generally saying that the use of the word abhaya and nirbhaya, which means fearless. I mean, how do we presume that any human being, whether male or female, who has been battered and the bones broken and everything is a revolutionary figure?
I just took those words because those were being used by the media, by the news channels. These two words were used at that time, no? So they were lingering into my mind.
They are commonly used, I understand.
Yeah.
But I'm just questioning not you, but generally this whole business of
Generally, yeah.
doing it, yeah.
It's a general brainstorming as to why to kind of we use this kind. Yes,
The
exactly.
only thing is, I think we need to educate, the other side. That is the need of the hour. Because if the men folk are more cultured, towards the thing, more sensitive towards the thing, the way they are being brought up by the mothers and fathers or the social, setup, I think that need to be checked today, rather than putting checks on the girls.
Exactly, man. And
It may
moreover,
be that perhaps, we can say, up to the last moment, they held on to the dignity of the self-esteem. Because I kind of agree with Dr. Roopali when you're saying they're fearless. It doesn't mean anything to the woman who's been defiled or whatever is taking place. It's more like a media sort of word, but it doesn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
बेचारी तो मैम सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट यू, मैं कुछ कहना चाहूंगी। बेचारी तो उसको उस हालात ने बना दिया ना। उन लोगों ने जब उसके साथ जबरदस्ती उसका शोषण किया, उसको मारा, तो ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि उसको बेचारा ही रूप बोलेंगे उसके लिए, कि वो बेचारी हालत में पहुंचा दी। उसने फाइट किया होगा, स्ट्रगल किया होगा, बट वो लास्टली क्या हुआ होगा कि वो बेचारेपन में ही आ गई, कि वो शी वॉज लाइक भाई उसके ऊपर हावी हो गई सब चीजें, जो भी लोग कर रहे थे तो वो लोग हावी हो गए, क्योंकि उनका राक्षस उनको आने नहीं दे रहा। वो भी लड़ी होंगी, फाइट किया होगा, बट लास्टली तो वो बेचारी बन गई ना, क्योंकि
नहीं
एक
वो
लेवल पे वो मतलब
मैम
कह रहे हैं ना कि लोग बेचारी क्यों कह रहे थे उसको, बेचारी तो वो इसीलिए कह रहे होंगे कि वो तो
Ma'am,
बेचारी बन गई लाइक।
Saraswati ma'am, my only concern is that why don't we people discuss those criminals more than the victims? Often, we just keep on discussing victims,
Ma'am,
victims.
we in
That
our
is my point.
society, yes, that's your wonderful point. We are discussing about the girls, that she might be wearing this, why she was wearing vulgar dress, she is going like that, and this time, why can't one girl go at night time? Not even a woman is safe, not a girl child, no one. 7 बजे यहाँ पे लड़का भी safe नहीं है. We are talking about girls. यहाँ पे लड़के भी safe नहीं है. I just read one news today. After 7 p.m. one boy was going outside and he was not seen after half an hour. He was not seen outside. वो दूध लेने दुकान तक जाता है तो वो गायब है, वहां से नजर नहीं आ रहा है. तो he was picked up और उसको उठा लिया गया और उसके साथ भी ये सब लड़के के साथ हुआ. आप सोचिए, मतलब ये हैवानियत. दिस इज नॉट डन फॉर विद द गर्ल्स, बॉयज के साथ, मेल्स के साथ भी हो रहा है ये चीजें. इनोसेंट चाइल्ड, वो टीनेजर 13-14 साल का बच्चा है, उसके साथ ही हो रहा है. मतलब ये चीजें इतनी ज्यादा है कि मतलब क्यों हम लोग वी आर मतलब एजुकेशन, दिस इज लैक ऑफ एजुकेशन और व्हाट. कहीं से कुछ तो आ रहा है जो ये जो इंसान ऐसे बिहेव कर रहे हैं, नॉट बिकमिंग लाइक इंसान नहीं है, जानवर हैं. तो इसकी डोर टू डोर शिक्षा कुछ देनी चाहिए या क्या है. ये चीज बहुत गलत होती है समाज के लिए. दिस इज नॉट सेटिंग, वी आर नॉट फीलिंग सेफ. लाइक कोई भी सेफ नहीं है. हम बड़े बड़े बच्चों को भी अलाउ नहीं करते हैं कि रात में बाहर मत जाओ. गर्ल्स तो दूर तक हैं, गर्ल्स के साथ तो बिल्कुल भी यू आर नॉट सेफ. का हम न्यूज देखते हैं, आप पॉडकास्ट देखिए उसका, राजामानी का, वो इतना डिस्कस करके इतना उन्होंने क्लैरिफाई किया कि बहुत गलत जा रहा है हम लोगों का समाज. ये जो हाईलाइट हो रही है, जैसे मोस्ट ऑफ द रोल कौन प्ले कर रहा है? मीडिया खाली नहीं कर रहा है. आवर मूवीज, बॉलीवुड, वेयर दे आर पिकिंग दीज थिंग्स फ्रॉम बॉलीवुड. जैसे एनिमल मूवी बन के आया, कोई भी मूवी बन के आती है तो दे बिकम गाइड्स, उनके लिए तो आइडल बन जाते हैं. पीपल फॉलो देम, दी स्टार्स. तो ये चीजें कुछ कुछ चीजों पे जब तक सरकार रोक नहीं लगाती है, हम लोग रोक नहीं लगाते कि कुछ फिगर आउट करने में चीजें वो हुए कि कहाँ से है ये अज्ञानता, कहाँ से चल रही है. तो वी कांट स्टॉप. बहुत चीज सुन के रोज ऐसा न्यूज आता है, रोज ये आ रहा है तो दिल दहला देते हैं हर जगह कुछ ना कुछ. we can only give our words to world कि ठीक है, इसके लिए
बिल्कुल
कुछ लोग
मैम, बिल्कुल.
भी
We will
जाए.
have a separate session for that, for the brainstorming or a seminar for
Yeah,
that. Thank you,
yeah,
Dr. Anita
right.
ma'am, Dr.
Wonderful poem, but salute to your poems. Yeah, thank you so much.
Saraswati. Please give a round of applause, my dear
Thank
friends.
you.
Welcome, Emmelia. Emmelia, after a long gap. Emmelia, how are you? Emmelia, please unmute your mic. Please unmute your mic and please read your poem. Emmelia M. Emmelia, please unmute your mic and read your poem.
Oh yeah, thank you. It's really my long. Good evening, everyone. I'm Emmelia from Indonesia. Just a very short poem about working. Yeah, working on solitude. We are in our days, and sad, we endured more till nothingness is unburdened. Could we lay our heads in stillness among struggles and opportunities? I come out of us and taking my mind in my pen, not to report my duties, but more to crave my freedom. September 21st, 2025, Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you, Amalia. Thank you. After a long gap, you have joined.
Yeah.
Amalia has joined from Indonesia, and we did many collaborate, right? It's a
Yes.
collaboration in writing.
Yeah, our collaboration, right?
Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Please welcome Miss Sankara. Are you ready to read a poem? Your poem, Sankara.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm ready if
Please
I
go.
have the floor, sir. Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Maje Kodumi Ebuhon, and I'm joining from Nigeria, West Africa. I would like to thank the organizer for the opportunity to connect with poets globally, especially elders who have established themselves. So as a young writer, I'm very much privileged to learn from our elders. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And the title of my poem is Gather Around the Bones. Gather Around the Bones. And it's a dedication for all of us who are victims of endless, stupid circle of violence. Violence has been going on globally. People just come up and involve in violence on different angles. So this is a poem dedicated to us globally. And because it's an International Peace Day, we hope with our poetry, we'll be able to ensure peace amongst humans. Thank you so much. Gather around the bones. It is a well-documented fact, something you might see on television with the volume turned down low. A herd of elephants stopped in their tracks by the sight of bones. Not just any bones, mind you. These are the bones of a relative, a great aunt perhaps, or a matriarch, who once knew where all the water holes were hiding. And they will stand there for hours, circling the remains, touching the great skull with a trunk that knows more than it can say. The elephants are not fooled by death. They know exactly what they are looking at. It is a long, slow way of saying, we remember you, our fallen comrade. We are still here. And the fact that you are not is a matter of lasting consequence. No one tells the elephants to do all of this morning. There is no school for elephants, no chalkboard with lesson 1, grieve the fallen. Yet, elephants pause, a whole migration held back. We, human beings, of course, we are faster about these things. We have schedules to keep. We tidy our grief into small, hour-long services. We bury the dead, and then we bury the memory, so we can get on with the important business of inventing new reasons to hurt each other. We might pause at a roadside memorial, but soon the light changes and we drive on. We have forgotten how to stand in a field for days, how to let a loss change the entire migration of our hearts. The elephants know that peace is neither a destination nor a treaty signed on a blank page, but the long, patient act of not forgetting, the stubborn refusal to let the past become just another relative's house that we no longer visit. It is the understanding that the only way to end the endless, stupid circle of violence is to gather around the bones together, to touch the evidence of what came before, and to say, in the silent language of giants, never again. For as long as we remember, never again. Thank you so much.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Sankara, thank you. Thank you for reading out
Thank
that.
you for coming, Sankara, and lovely poem. And it's good to know you want peace, and we all seek peace. And it's United Nations International Day of Peace. I think it's the 21st. Is that today? Yes. Yes. And there's a call for 7 minutes of world peace. I think the time passed in Britain is from 2 p.m. to 2:07 p.m. Your name is auspicious. It make references to many of the rishis and seers of the Upanishads. But of course, there's a famous president of Burkina Faso, Sankara, who has killed in dubious circumstances. Very great man indeed, and also auspicious. So I love your name.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity. We have to keep on the struggle. We on the continent, we strongly believe in the ideals, the Pan-African ideals Thomas Sankara stood for. Yeah. And so it's a duty, it's a call to service for every Black people across the globe to ensure that they continue to speak up for a truly free African continent where the resources of the African people will be used to develop the African people. So that's the legacy of Sankara we keep.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for noting that.
Dr. Roopali's question, which she posed earlier, and I said Northern Africa. So, Dr. Roopali, you feel the spirit, right?
Thank you, Sankara. Thank you for joining. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Please welcome Dr. Radhashri.
Namaste, sir. I am very much thankful to our Prasanna Kumar for giving me today I am rendering a Telugu poem.
Sir, we are finding it difficult to, get across your voice.
This is my translation. Sirametti Buchamai Nilapsuno, Mesagadu Bhav. Sir, some problem is there, connection problem. స్వేచ్ఛాయుత వినీల విశ్వ స్వర్గమునకు తండ్రి మేల్కొల్పు మా దేశమెల్ల దయతో. This is the translation of famous poem of Geetanjali, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where the tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into dreary desert sands of dead habits. Into that heaven of freedom, oh Father, let my country awake. This is a great dream of Tagore. He wants a society where there are no hurdles of caste, creed, region, religion, etc. There is only one country, that is from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, only one country. Kindly make this country wise, kindly make this country self-sufficient. Atmanirbhar ka Bharat ka karavo. This is the meaning of this poem, sir. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So beautiful. Thank you. I love your English reading. Wow, beautiful. What a flow. What a flow. My goodness. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Please welcome Isaac Cohen. Isaac. Isaac, please unmute your mic. Isaac. Isaac, please unmute your mic. Okay, before that, before Isaac gets ready, I could just go ahead with my reading. Hope you don't like it. Try not. Was there behind the wire? Decipher not. The run of the mill. Play hide and seek. After all, was there in this hell? The other things that we hail to shake our mental well, wall we build while keeping mile. Smile rarely comes across to spell. Now, don't try to decode the matter. Nothing is there to show and unveil. Tails we join to keep in place. Right slithers and wrong happens. To be in making joys in prominence. Preferential treatment for bad mules. Corners are laid for the good souls. Let's play hide and seek after all. What's there in this hell to deal with? Just chill by not gulping a pill. Thank you. Try not. I don't know. Isaac. Hi, Isabel. Thank you. You're there. Wow,
Lovely poem. Short and brisky. Very nice. Beautiful.
thank you, man. Isaac is somewhere, so we could just end up the show and looking forward with more to join in the next week, coming week. And Sankara, we love your poem. And thank you, Christopher, Isabel, Emmelia. Yes, we love to have this collaboration with you both along. And Lantern sir, Mrinal sir, Dr. Roopali ma'am, Radhashi sir. Thank you.
Before you all disappear, and tomorrow
Thank
is
you.
Navratri, I wanted to show you. Here's the goddess. Multitasking. She multitasks. That's why she has 10 hands.
Oh, Jai Mata Di.
This is the multitasking 10-handed goddess, and she has. She's already arrived. She's the feminine.
Jai
So
Mata
she will be
Di.
taking over. The divine feminine, and we'll be growing. This what's it called, wheat, so that there is prosperity. So there are lots of interesting things happening for the next 10 days.
Good. I'm going to use her
Okay.
to help me pack for
So
my
you
move.
get an idea.
Perfect. That's beautiful.
Thank you so much. The interesting thing about culture is it includes everybody.
Exactly, ma'am. Exactly. Please join us next Sunday, coming Sunday, and we'll be looking forward and with more of celebration and joy. Thank you.